Hello everyone and welcome to a new highlights video of the URL-GT1 championship. For round 3 of this championship we went to Nogaro for the very first time in URL history, and looking at the qualifying results, it was once again Mikko Korkiakoski putting his Ferrari F40 on the pole position with a 1:23.2, 0.2 of a second in front of Peter Backus in the McLaren F1, and then followed by Mihovil Markovic. In the AM Cup, it was Simon Fillingham taking pole with a 1:25.2, a long way ahead of second place man in AM, Andrei Golubnici, more than a second down on Simon there, followed by Vasily Yakovenko to round up the top 3. So let's have a look at the highlights of the race. Here we are on the grid at Nogaro. The first right-left combination is very tricky, so drivers have been warned. Oh, it's Mihovil Markovic having a slowish start, and here in the front Peter Backus is really on the gearbox of Mikko Korkiakoski, but can't capitalize. We have some drivers going to the cross, and oh, Yevgeny Leonov causes a bit of a crash there when rejoining the track. Florian Kutz makes the pass on Robert Horvath here to take P3, so Mihovil Markovic lost a couple of positions at the start here again. He goes wide onto the grass and has to defend from Joona Karima. Here we are at the slowest section of the track, and we see the whole field here snaking through and keeping it clean. Very close there. Yevgeny Leonov and Simon Fillingham were involved in the incident in turn 1, so they are a bit further back. So here's Sten Mikkel Olsen rounding up the top 5, Mihovil Markovic in P6, and here's the rest of the grid. And then in the AM Cup here there's some bumping and grinding. Alex Laush is involved, Andrei Golubnici, and I think as well Kris Simton, but all get through unscathed, so everyone can get on with this race. So Mikko Korkiakoski finishes lap 1 with a bit of a gap already to Peter Backus in second position. His teammate Florian Kutz is in third, and here is the whole URL grid flashing by at the start-finish line at Nogaro. So in lap 2, Reinhard Berger put his car on the inside here of I think it's Kris Simton, and he gets past, so he will want to charge to the front as soon as he can to get some good points for the championship. And here's Peter Abelovsky behind Alex Laush. I think he will have some good slipstreaming here to be able to make the pass for P12. Goes for the inside. Alex doesn't really defend. Peter Abelovsky dives up the inside and gets P12. Let's see how far up he gets. He started in last position. So then Yevgeny Leonov here following Reinhard Berger in 19th position at the moment. And just take a look ahead. You'll see Alex Laush's car unfortunately on his roof, and Michal Klisch waiting on the grass, so there obviously has been some contact and bad luck for Alex Laush. Yevgeny Leonov is trying to take advantage of that surprise, but he's quite far back now. Let's see if he can capitalize on some mistake from Reinhardt, trying to push as hard as he can to get to the front of the field in his Nissan GT-R GP1. Very tricky track here. Some of the drivers called it a Mickey Mouse track, and that's actually what it is. You have to pick your lines or you'll lose heaps of time. Yevgeny dives up the inside here. Oh, he's lucky that Reinhardt left him some space, but he makes the pass for P16 at the moment. And here's Simon Fillingham behind Florin Manolace, and Kris Simton is in front. Oh, Simon touches Florin but Fillingham can keep it on the track. Simon does make the pass for P19, so this is the big battle here. Fillingham is not in AM anymore, but still battling hard with those guys. So here we are, a little bit going onto the main, or the back straight, the long straight. Let's see what Simon Fillingham can do. Can he take Kris Simton's position here at the end of the straight? We can have a look from onboard Florin Manolacci's car, also driving the Maserati. Oh, Simon puts his car on the inside, they're side by side. Kris Simton cuts across, so being able to defend his position now, goes a little bit wide. Can Simon go for the gap on the inside? Yes, he can. Kris Simton keeps it clean, doesn't turn in when he shouldn't, loses the position, but he will be there to fight another lap. So behind Miguel Korkiakowski in the lead was Peter Bacchus, still quite close, about 3 seconds. Then Florian Kutz and Robert Horvath, and then it was Sten Mikkel Olsen trying to fend off Mihovil Markovic and Joona Karima, but here's Mihovil making a move, a bit of a bold move, a bit of contact, losing Sten Mikkel Olsen that position, and Joona is there to bounce as well. Further in the back, Andrei Golubnici was battling Simon Fillingham for the lead of the AM Cup. And Simon has the inside line for turn 1. Still very tricky to get the braking right. He does. Can Andrei do the undercut? No, he can't. So that's a lead change here for the AM Cup. Simon Fillingham taking the lead at the moment. So after getting passed by Mihovil Markovic, here's Joona Karima having a look at Sten Mikkel Olsen. Exactly the same move, only less contact here. But Joona Karima gets 5th position. This is his 2nd URL race, so he's going strong. Good positions here. And then drama struck for 3rd place man Florian Kutz. This is Kris Simton, right in front of 3rd spot. Spins in the last turn and unfortunately loses Florian Kutz the position, but no harm done, everyone could keep going. Then here Alexandr Petrichenko, teammate of newcomer Ilya Yakovenko, battling it out with Alex Laush, I think it is, and he gets past. So Joona Karima, after passing Sten Mikkel Olsen together with Mihovil Markovic, could close the gap down to the F40. Let's see what happens here at the end of the straight. Mihovil takes the defensive line. It's not a bad choice, but he has to get his car stopped in time in order to not let Joona cut underneath him, which he can. So they are still side by side. Still absolutely side by side. Now Mihovil should have the advantage, he's on the inside line, but a bit behind. Still side by side, this has to be the move of the race. Joona Karima gets P5 from Mihovil Markovic with a very nice and clean move. And Peter Abelovsky going for the inside here and making the pass to get into that top 10 position. And here we go through the field just in front of the pit stops. Miguel Korkiakowski for Peter Bacchus from Robert Horvath on the podium. Now Florian Kutz, we saw how he lost 3rd spot. Then Joona Karima, Mihovil Markovic, we saw that battle as well. Sten Mikkel Olsen now in P7, but still going well. Ilya Isaenko, sorry I mispronounced the name before, is our newcomer today. Then Miguel Santiago, Carou, Peter Abelovsky, Craig Metcalf, Alex Laush in 12th, and Alexandr Petrichenko, Yevgeny Leonov, Reinhard Berger in P15, and Simon Fillingham in the lead of the AM Cup. Andrei Golubnici in 2nd, Florin Manolacci Then Miguel and Kris Simton in third of the AM Cup, and he's also in last position. So here's some people going into the pits. That's Ilya Isayenko and Miguel Santiago Carou going into the pits together, with Miguel slightly behind and skipping forward. Here's Ilya firing up his car in the pits, and Miguel Santiago Carou manages to get a bit of a faster pit stop and get past. And then the big battle of the second stint was between Greg Metcalf and Peter Abelovsky. Mind you, it was only for 10th spot, but it was a very hard battle, which we will witness part of just right here. As you can see, Peter Backus is right behind them. His teammate Tony Ukic not racing today. Oh, a small touch there between Greg and Peter. And that's Peter Backus then going through, putting himself between these two battling drivers. And now Peter Abelovsky has to stay close and see if he can get can take some advantage of Peter Backus going past. He goes for the inside here, but he has to take a very narrow line, and I think the GTR of Greg is still in front. Yes, he is. Now the GTR can stretch his legs, and I don't think Peter Abelovsky will be able to make a pass just now. No, he will have to keep trying and keep trying. Then in the very last lap, Florin Manolace was behind Andrei Golubnici, who makes a mistake. He's in second in the AM Cup. Florin is not in the AM Cup, but still Andrei is battling him quite hard, going over the curb. Florin now has the inside line, and Andrei has to let that position slide. But let's see if he gives up. He has his teammate Yevgeny Leonov right behind him. Andrei, of course, has nothing to lose. He is in second and not being threatened by third place man Kris Simton, so he might as well go for the overall finishing spot. He will want to get P17 here from Simon, but he's far too far. Oh, but Florin misjudges the braking point and goes straight into the wall on the last lap, and unfortunately loses the position he fought so hard for. And here's Miko Korkiakowski starting from the pole and taking the win here at Nogaro with a 10-second gap to Peter Backus here in second place. So very good and consistent drive by these drivers. Then Robert Horvath will finish in P3. Florian Kutz will have to settle for 4th position. Jona Karima finishing 5th. Ilya Isayenko and Sten Mikkel Olsen 6th and 7th, with Miguel losing his position to Ilya and staying on the very last lap. Here is the rest of the field. Mihovil Markovic underfilled his car and had to make a second pit stop. He's now very close still to Reinhard Berger. They will finish absolutely side by side. Oh, big slide there. And that's a photo finish to see who was in front. We'll see that in the final standings. So here they are, the final standings. As I said, Miko Korkiakowski winning 10 seconds in front of Peter Backus and Robert Horvath after a full 70-minute race. And then in the AM Cup, Simon Fillingham taking the win, followed by Andrei Golubnici and Kris Simton, last of the finishers, but still taking a podium spot in the AM Cup. So very hard-fought race here for the 22 drivers taking part, but a very nice and clean race with some good moves and good racing. So next week we are racing GT3s in Assetto Corsa at the Sachsenring, and we hope you all join us at unitedRacersLeague.com and check out the highlights for that race as well.